Well, Andrew Lee is in Taipei with more on this and joins us now. Andrew, it's a denial then that we're seeing from China, but what exactly is Taiwan saying?
Right, Paul. Taiwan, as we've seen, the president-elect, Ms. Taiwan, has voiced concerns. Now, people here in Taiwan, the way we see this situation is that China is laying claims to sovereignty over its rights in the South China Sea. Now, China is obviously trying to maintain its presence in the South China Sea. Now, Paul, we know this area is rich in fishery resources. It may also have rich resources in terms of oil or natural gases reserves under the seabed. So the people here in Taiwan, the way we view the situation is that people in Taiwan and people in China, we are doing business. We have family ties as well. So people in Taiwan and the people of China, we are very closely knit together. We are good friends. In fact, we are families. So now we also know that China says that Taiwan is part of China. This is another issue altogether. So people here in China, the way we see this dispute on the South China Sea with Taiwan laying claims and China laying claims is that we want to see this situation resolved by peaceful means and friendly means, because people in Taiwan and people in China, again, as I've said, we're good friends and good families. Paul.
It's not just China and Taiwan, though, is it? Vietnam are also claiming the islands in the area. So where do we go from here?
Paul, that is a very good question. In fact, Vietnamese are laying claims to its sovereignty in the South China Sea, Philippines as well. And in fact, Paul, for your information, Malaysia and Brunei are also laying some claims to this area of South China Sea, which is, like I said, rich in fisheries resources and rich in oil and natural gas reserves, maybe under the seabed. So this situation is tense. This situation is escalating, but I'm sure the international community wished to see this issue resolved through peaceful means. And as we have just seen, the Chinese foreign minister, Mr. Wang Yi, said that China is doing this because of its international rights to this area for self-preservation, for self-protection. And he has also said that the actions, whether it is military or civilian infrastructure construction, is for the goods and services to the international community, and China does want to play a positive role there in the South China Sea. Paul.
All of this comes as well as the ASEAN summit gets underway in California. Is that significant, and could we see a militarization of the area?
Another very good question, Paul. I'm sure the ASEAN leaders are very concerned over this situation, and that is why the U.S. President Obama has voiced its concerns. And we are getting reactions from the Chinese authorities. As we've seen, Chinese Foreign Minister Mr. Wang Yi has spoken on this issue. And if you recall, President Xi Jinping of mainland China has said previously, China does not want to militarize this area. Now, I'm sure this deployment, be it military or civilian, as captured on satellite images, has come at a very sensitive time. So we want to see this situation all resolved through friendly and peaceful means. But indeed, a very sensitive issue at a very sensitive time. Paul.
Okay, Andrew Lee, thank you very much for the update there in Taipei.
Welcome.